What's going on, Jasmy family? I hope everyone is having an incredible day. The last couple of days, really, on the Jasmy price side and the market in general, really have been sideways. But I hope everyone is still holding up because you know what? We still have got better days to come, and we will need the whole family when those prices are now high up so that we'll be celebrating together. Today is number 1033 of the bear market, and I can tell you that we are really getting super close to the completion of this bear market right here. But before we get into the content, I just want to remind you that I'm going to be giving away 100,000 Jasmy tokens to 3 lucky winners on the 1st of January 2024. So each winner is going to be walking away with something like 33,000 Jasmy tokens. And according to the TA that I showed you, that would actually turn out to be something like $33,000 if all really goes well, right? So if you don't want to pass on that opportunity, all you have to do is make sure that you are subscribed to the channel and you have commented at least once. The reason is that we are collecting those names and we are going to be using them in a live stream, which we're going to be hosting a live draw, right, with a random name picker. So with that being said, let's quickly get back into the Jasmy price set, and you can see here that I'm still expecting that 25% pump to the upside here that I was talking about 2 days ago. Obviously, something funny really happened here because I was saying that if we fail to break, and close above the 702 fib adjustment level, which we're measuring from this level right here, right? You remember when Jasmy was put in the innovation zone here, I was saying that the condition that we need to satisfy to go ahead and reach that 25% pump that I was talking about, we need a break and close above something like 0.00648 thereabout, right? And I was saying that if you hear me in the next video saying that I told you that this thing was going to happen, feel free to tell me that you were wrong, because obviously I mentioned that was a possibility, but then again, that is not what I was expecting to happen. I was expecting the Jasmy prices to break and close above that level. So I mean, it was really funny for me because it actually hit the specific price tag that I was talking about, like 0.0054, right? But then again, that was not the action that I took. So again, I admit I was actually very wrong about that, even though I mean I was open to something like that happening, right? But obviously the question remains here, are we still poised for that 25% pump to happen here? Again, I want to repeat myself. The condition of the 702 fib retracement level is still there and needs to be satisfied. We need a break and close above something like 0.00648, something like that. But once we break and close above that level there, I think we are set to go. The reason why I'm really confident of this move happening is obviously we have been taking a look at the market, really taking a look at across the market. You can see here an example, ICP, same structure with the Jasmy price, and you can see what it did right there, right? You can also see Ava. You can also see here theta. You can also see, for example, here we've got Neo, and then you can also see an example of VChain. You can also see an example of Modulus X. You can also see an example of Just. You can also see here an example of Scale Network, a plethora of examples across the markets. And what I've just noticed, is that the market moves in tandem, really. I mean, it may not be the same second, the same hour, the same day, but we've got leaders, we've got mid-packs, and we also have got laggers, right? So most of the times, actually, Jasmy is a lagger. It kind of follows the rest of the market, regardless of it being in the innovation zone or whatever the case, right? So, I mean, something like this is to be expected to happen for the Jasmy price, and honestly, that would actually be the equivalence of something like $0.008 here per Jasmy. So I still expect Jasmy to catch up with the rest of the market, hitting our main resistance. Obviously, that resistance comes with a narrative. This is when Jasmy was put into the innovation zone. We really don't know how much weight it carries. I mean, like how strong the resistance may be. But then again, just taking a look at the market in general, you can actually see that we have some good indications already. You can see here, for example, Rune, same structure almost, and the equivalence of that $0.008 per Jasmy would be this level here for Rune, and you can see that it already broke that here. Another example, which would be much more recent probably, is if we want to take a look at maybe the Cardano price set here, also taking a look maybe at the market cap. You can actually see here that Cardano is being a recent example here, and has broken that level right here. So I mean, we are getting early indications from market leaders to say, you know what, those major resistances on these prices are actually going to be broken at some point right here, right? Another example that I wanted to show was actually VChain, which is on the move today. And the reason why this one is interesting is already it had gotten to that level, but it got knocked back a little bit, but it's trying to fight that resistance level. So this is one that I'll be watching to see what happens really here with VChain, but also taking a look at something that is of much more importance to me, is the total market cap of altcoins, right? That is the market cap of crypto excluding Bitcoin. So we only have Ethereum and the rest of the other altcoins. And then you can see here we have this perfect wake of accumulation pattern that I was talking about maybe 2 months ago. And usually what happens with these wake of accumulation patterns is once you get to the top of the range, right, you kind of work yourself out here in something that is known as the sign of strength. So this is why you see the market is a little bit washy-wishy or wishy-washy, is because, you know, this thing is just trying to find a direction. But I think it's going to break out eventually. And then here is probably when we're going to be experiencing like probably the best moment of our lives here, because you know we pretty much don't have like resistance at all. If you take a look at left right here, we only have resistance beginning when we are adding to something like $1 trillion in market cap, and obviously that's a psychological level. So I mean, great things are just about to happen here just according to this price set here. And obviously coming back to the Jasmy price set, we want to see Jasmy doing well, running that 25% here, catching up with the rest of the market. But once we get to something like $0.008, that's when we really want the whole market to be doing well, so that Jasmy can break this resistance with actually much more ease. Obviously, we may have a knockback just as we have seen with all those examples that I was just showing you a few moments ago. But if the general market conditions are good, if you see the total 2 pushing that move that I was just talking about here, you can see Jasmy breaking that $0.008, a major resistance that we have right at $0.008 on the Jasmy price at here. But obviously that will open a gauge to something that is much more optimistic. Remember this amazing falling wedge that we've been monitoring. I don't know really how many months this has been, but I mean, I'm gonna be patient. I'm gonna be waiting for it to happen, right? So look, we had that breakout here. This whole thing that you see here, as gruesome as it may be, is just a backtest of this breakout that we had here. And we are looking at something like 4.5 cents. We are also looking at something like 9, 10, 11 cents thereabout here for the price targets of this falling wedge here. Those are huge price targets in my own opinion. And I think this is actually going to happen in a very short space of time, because what has just happened time and again in this market is that we actually tend to spend more time going sideways or going to the downside here compared to the time that we go to the upside. So I really expect, you know, a very crazy price action in the coming 3 months or something like that. Obviously, we're just mentioning the days of the bear market here, as we always do, which I'm not going to do in today's video. We just usually compare the Jasmy price to previous bear market fractals of other altcoins there, and you can see that, you know, we were using the example of Cardano, for example, which took something like 1,047 days, 1,147 days to be precise. And you can see already we are getting super close to that. So I mean, really, I expect the Jasmy price to be doing super well in the coming 3 months or so. But as I was mentioning at the beginning of the video, in the immediate short term, what we need for the Jasmy price is to satisfy this 0.702 Fibonacci retracement level there, of which it's lying around something like 0.00645 thereabouts. So let's just to be, you know, on the safe side here, let's go with something like $0.0065 per Jasmy. A break and close above this level almost guarantees us that we are going to be testing our main resistance level here in the immediate short term, right? But then again, there has been, you know, some development here on the Jasmy price, which I really don't like too much. And obviously, I just want to share it with you, right? And here, what's happening with the Jasmy price is you can see here that Jasmy hit a top right here and then another top right here. So this structure is something that I've studied, and I actually used the structure here to predict the top of the green metaverse token back in the day. Obviously, I mean, I didn't have an audience like what I have right now, and nobody was listening, but it was actually very successful. I took, you know, time to study it, and here what you usually see is you see a first top right here, you see another top making a double top, obviously, but then again you also have another double top right here. So you basically have, you know, a double top inside of a bigger double top, right? I don't know if that actually makes sense. So let's go ahead and highlight this, because I'm going to show you a couple of examples across the market, right? So we have the first top right here, and then you have a double top inside of the bigger double top. So let's go ahead and highlight the second double top here. And then also what you see is that you have got the price, you know, being supported here by an upward sloping resistance or upward sloping support, actually. So what happens is usually once you break this, you know, upward sloping support level here, right, it's usually lights out, right? So let me quickly go ahead and show you an example so that you can kind of visualize. So this is the top of the green metaverse token that I was just talking about, and you can see the same kind of price action that I was actually describing. You see this double top here inside of a bigger double top. So you've got a top here, you've got a top, that's your first double top, but then again you also have got another double top, and look what happens here. Once you break that upward sloping support, I mean, it's lights out, obviously. You just crash to the downside. to your next support level, right? Which I'm going to be mentioning in a minute for the Jasmy price chart. Here you also see even Bitcoin, the top of the Bitcoin price chart actually had something like this. You can see your first top right here, you have another top, but then inside of the second top here, you see another double top, and then you also have put this upward sloping support that you have right here. Once you break below this one, a daily candle below that upward sloping resistance here, upward sloping support, I should say, I mean, it's really usually lights up, right? Another example that I could give is Axie Infinity, which I was also looking at back in the day. You can see that you have a top right here, you have another top, and then you also have another top here. So you basically have a double top inside of a bigger double top right here. Again, you see the same kind of price action as you. Once you have a break and close below this level right here, the upward sloping support, I mean, it's really lights out. The last example that I want to give is Ethereum Classic. I mean, if you didn't know, back in the day I was also talking a lot about Ethereum Classic because it was the man of the moment at that time, obviously. But here you can also see this top right here, you also see another top, and then you can see a double top inside of the bigger double top right here. And once again, once you break and close below this upward sloping support level right here, it's usually lights up. So if something like this ends up happening here for Jasmy, I'm going to be opening a short position. Let it be known, right? I mean, whether I'm right or wrong, but just according to these structures here, usually what happens is that if you just happen to break below this level, you close a daily candle outside there, you are getting back to your previous support level. So we'll be looking at something like upwards, you know, the upper bound of something like 40 price. So we are looking at 45 or something like that. And then in the best case scenario, we are looking at something like here, you know, the upper 50s or something like that. But I'm just keeping this setup in mind. But in the immediate short term, what we are looking for at the specifically two conditions, right? Break and close above $0.0065, you are 25% up. Break below this upward sloping resistance here, upward sloping support, I should say, we are looking at that doomsday scenario right here. Not really a doomsday scenario, I'm exaggerating, but you know, we'll be getting back to, you know, our support levels there, and then we'll take it from there, right? Obviously, none of what I say is financial advice, and you should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say. But if you like the content, don't forget to delicately tap the like button, share the video with your friends and family, and then I'll have to see you on the next one. Take good care of yourselves. Bye.